Hey, what is up everybody? It is your boy Evan, and I'm coming to you with another video about something that I saw while perusing YouTube, as you do. It stood out to me, mostly because I am Catholic. Some of you may or may not know this, but yes, I'm Catholic. I love Jesus Christ, I love his church, and I love the apostolic tradition set forth for us to keep. Now, Pope Leo came with several controversies, some from the left, some from the right. Left people think that he's a radical conservative who wants to shut gay people out of the church. Some conservatives think he's a radical leftist who wants us to have unmitigated immigration. And neither are correct. You know, one thing the media has done successfully is really warped the public perception of great people. Take Donald Trump, for example. All the media lies about him. Yet for some reason conservatives can't see through the lies with Pope Francis. Yeah, Pope Francis and Pope Leo. So I thought it'd behoove me to perhaps provide some clarity for y'all with the Pope. So I got a few things pulled up, but before we get into those, you already know the drill. I really appreciate it if you could like, comment, subscribe. You'd be doing a huge service to me. But I'm not gonna harp on all that. Let's go ahead and get into things.
Pope Leo XIV was inaugurated with a ceremony in Rome over the weekend, which saw global leaders come together to mark the momentous occasion. The appointment of Pope Leo XIV sees a return to the Catholic Church's roots. The new Pope confirmed in a meeting with the Vatican diplomatic corps that the family is founded on the stable union between a man and a woman. This position is a far cry from the former Pope's blessing of LGBTQIA+ relationships.
Hold your horses. Heresy. So, the news is misrepresenting what Pope Francis said. This wasn't a blessing of gay relationships. It was a blessing of gay individuals. Because in case you guys forgot, blessings aren't for those who are already sanctified, already in God's favor. You bless people to spiritually mend them, to spiritually nourish them. The church isn't a place for people that already have it all together. No. The church is for the downtrodden, the weary, the lost, so that they may be found. It's made for sinners. So why wouldn't you want to pray over these people? Why wouldn't you want to bless them? If you don't want to bless sinners so that their spirits may be mended and that they may turn to Christ and away from sin, then you're not a Christian. Then you're not a Catholic. You gotta get some of that hate out of your heart, Brody.
Which is sending liberal Catholics into a tailspin.
I'm a little concerned about this choice for the LGBTQ plus community. In 2012, he gave an address to bishops, and he lamented the popular culture fostered and sympathy for beliefs and practices that are at odds with the gospel, and that's a quote. And then he cited the homosexual lifestyle and alternative families comprised of same-sex partners and their adopted children. I think that Pope Francis certainly made great changes in terms of embracing the LGBTQ plus community and extending blessings to the community. And I hope that this is that this Pope doesn't.
Mind you, Pope Francis is the same Pope that said that there was F-word C in the church. And I'm not saying the F-U-C-K F-word. Yeah, he said that. He wanted to get gay people out of the clergy. You don't know Pope Francis like you think you do.
Roll back.
But I'm gonna give him, come to that in his time.
As well as being against gay marriage, Pope Leo reaffirmed the church's stance on abortion, saying that the unborn and elderly enjoy dignity as God's creatures. Liberal online commentators blasted the Pope for his views, with this person saying, "I do think it's fairly tragic that the new Pope..."
Holy heresy. Jolene of Arc. See, that would be cute if you were like actually like a good practicing Catholic. But yeah, that statement just doesn't go with it, bro.
has regressive views on gender and sexuality, But I think all the people standing the cardinals forgot that the Catholic Church is an inherently evil institution.
Cap, let me tell you, the Catholic Church is the most charitable NGO on the planet. The amount of aid that is given to nations through medical service, through education, sheltering, orphanages, it's incalculable. The church truly is God's will on earth. But people love taking stabs at the Catholic Church. And it's because it's the one true church. What is worldly is not heavenly. And so the world will make its attempts to attack that which was set and founded on a stone, on a rock, on Peter. Yes, sir.
Pope Francis was sort of a fluke, and even he was far from perfect. But other commentators pointed out that Pope Leo is merely a return to normal programming for the Catholic Church. This person said, "Today Pope Leo XIV reaffirmed two foundational Catholic truths. Marriage is between one man and one woman. Abortion is demonically evil. He also declared truth must be spoken even with blunt language. No ambiguity, no compromise, just clarity."
You know, I will say that is one privilege of Pope Leo that I really appreciate. He is very straightforward. With Pope Francis, there was a lot of need to revisit his writings, revisit his teachings, revisit his comments. And I don't think that's entirely his fault. I think it was a large portion of the media that was misrepresenting him. And you'd be hard pressed to see through that, especially if you're not hearing it for yourself, you're not reading his teachings yourself. And also there's just the misspeak between Italian to English or Spanish to English. Pope Francis was a very misrepresented man. But even then, without the misrepresentation, he wasn't always super straightforward. Pope Leo, what you see is what you get, big dog. He's telling you like it is. And I think there's a lot of utility to being that sort of leader.
And whilst Pope Leo XIV holds the conservative views of being against gay marriage and abortion, he has publicly criticised Donald Trump and J.D. Vance for their views on immigration and deportations.
Trump and MAGA are freaking out. The most
No,
powerful spiritual voice on earth just issued a direct challenge to the most powerful political voice in America. And he did it in front of more than 100 diplomats from around the globe. Pope Leo XIV condemned mass deportation that violated human dignity. He warned nations against treating migrants like disposable burdens. And without naming names, the message was unmistakable. He referred to cases like Kilmar Albrego Garcia. He also brought up Andrew Romero, a gay asylum seeker that was sent back to face abuse. Both cases happened under Trump's orders. And while President Trump celebrates deportation numbers like stock market wins, the Pope is calling this what it is, a human rights crisis. Pope Leo said, "We must never treat people as statistics. Every migrant has a name, a face, and a story." That was a shot across the ocean to Trump and Vance. This is the second time in a month that the Vatican has publicly challenged Trump's moral authority.
And this was seen.
Now, before the liberals get excited, yes, Pope Leo thinks that we are a little too harsh with our deportation and that we're handling it in a very nonchalant way, right? Because his whole thing is respect, morality, decency, and sometimes you get lost when you're mass producing any sort of product or service. You know, you lose the silky touch of a intimate interaction. That doesn't mean he's for immigration, mind you. He's not pro-immigration. "Oh, but Evan, I've heard A, B, and C, and he made tweets against Trump." Shut up. Let me show you it from the actual Pope's mouth.
Make very clear a message which Pope Francis has been hammering home time and again since his very first trip as Pope, when he went to this little community, an island in southern Italy, the town of Lampedusa, where all these immigrants continue to come. It's a huge problem, and it's a problem worldwide, not only in this country. There's got to be a way both to solve the problem, but also to treat people with respect. Every one of us, whether we were born in the United States of America or on the North Pole, we all are given that gift of being created in the image and likeness of God. And the day we forget that is the day we forget who we are.
You heard that? You seen that? Pope Leo is not for immigration, as they would have you believe. Is he for treating people with respect? Of course. Is he sympathetic to people who claim to be running for their lives from persecution? Obviously. Yeah. He's the Pope. You're telling me that the Pope cares about the downtrodden, the homeless, the persecuted, the sick? Oh man, wow. You really took me for a surprise with that one. Yeah, Pope Leo cares about these people, obviously. He cares about every person. He cares about every soul. And he cares about how we're treating every soul. That doesn't mean he's for illegal immigration. Let's just get that clear. Let me go ahead and provide you one more thing. Proverbs 25:28. A man without self-control is like a city broken into and left without walls. Now let me go ahead and spin that back at you, right? This would also mean that a city that is broken into and left without walls is like a man without self-control. Unmitigated immigration is a terrible thing, man. You're not going to allow such actions under the guise of compassion, because that's no compassion for your people. That's no compassion for your household, who you are beholden to, who you are charged with taking care of. A man without self-control is like a city broken into and left without walls. Therefore, a city broken into and left without walls is like a man without self-control. You feel me? So don't get it twisted. The left don't understand Pope Leo, but I would also say in some cases, the right does not understand Pope Leo. I like Pope Leo. I think he's a great pope, and I'm looking forward to him leading our church and leading the conversion of souls that have yet to find Jesus. With that said, I think that's where I'm going to go ahead and end this video. I appreciate you guys watching. If you found this informative or entertaining or some other third thing, I would really appreciate if you could like, comment, subscribe, maybe share with a friend that doesn't understand Pope Leo the way you think they should. With that said, I'm Evan. This was the video. I'm out. Peace.